So I just joined Ryan Tedder's monthly songwriting course, which I'm really excited to get started with. I've actually dived into the onboarding material, so the stuff before the course starts on January 4th, and I just wanted to sort of share my initial impressions on what I think. So I joined the course probably a few days ago, and I really just wanted to be able to level up my songwriting. And there's tons of tutorials on YouTube and whatnot, but when I saw an ad for this course, I was like, well, I could learn from a bunch of people from YouTube, which is helpful, or I could pay the price and learn from someone who has won 3 Grammys. And so that was pretty enticing to me. And so I pulled the trigger. It was $279. And apparently that is the introductory rate, and that's going to be going up to $500 during the next time that this course comes out, because it only comes out a few times during the year. But I thought that was a fair price considering the amount of information that I'm probably going to learn. I opted for something like this compared to month or masterclass because from what I've seen, masterclass just seems to be very much tip of the iceberg sort of material. And when I was looking at the trailer for the Ryan Tedder monthly course, it seemed to go way more in depth as far as the actual songwriting and production process. So I decided to go for it. And so let's sort of go in and I'll show you what it looks like from someone who's bought it. So when you sign up, you get an email just basically saying, welcome to the course. And it's a one month class where you'll be leveling up your music writing and having 3 release ready songs. So that's actually really cool. And it starts on January 4th. And so when you go to the classroom, it looks exactly like this. So this is the class home, which has the pre-class checklist. So this is the only thing that I can access so far. And so far I've done all of the steps on here. So I'm good to go. I'm a good student. All right, so it starts with the welcome video with Ryan Tedder just sort of introducing himself and telling you what to expect as far as the course goes. And then you have a class profile, so you can add a photo of yourself, where you're from, a bio, and sort of what you hope to gain from the course, and you can link your social profiles. One thing to note, not really relevant to the profile, is that Ryan seems to be actually really enthusiastic about teaching the course, because I feel like I've seen other classes, like on Masterclass, for example, where it just seems like they got paid this big sum of money but aren't really that invested in what they're trying to teach. And it just seems like Ryan is actually cares about trying to teach you the material, which I thought was really neat. So after that, it tells you about this referral system. So basically, if you get other people to sign up for a class, you will get $20 credit for another class, and then they will get $20 off. So just a note, if you are interested, I mean, to join this round of the course, it basically ends in 5 hours, I think. So you'd have to do it really quick, but I imagine that this would work for later courses as well. So if you're interested and you want to save $20, then you can click the link in the description below. And once you sign up, you'll have a link that you can share with other people as well. So that's a pretty neat way to get just other people and your friends to sign up. And apparently, if your friends sign up, then they'll be in the same cohort as you, which is also pretty cool. Then it talks about the equipment that you'll need. So you don't need a lot. You just need a DAW, a MIDI keyboard, some headphones, and it has some plugins and virtual instruments that Ryan recommends. I didn't have like the CLA vocals, but I did end up buying it because it is on sale, by the way, end of the year sale for a very steep discount. So I did get that. And then for the Valhalla Vintage Verb, I did get a demo of that, and it seems to work pretty well, despite the fact that it's a demo. And then it has some microphone recommendations, interface recommendations, and some other stuff that I don't have and don't plan on getting. But pretty neat that it has all that listed there. But really, just to get started, you pretty much just need a DAW, a MIDI keyboard, and some headphones. That's pretty much it. The next thing is the fundamentals of music theory. So with this is the one section of the course that Ryan does not teach. And he has a little intro in the beginning, basically says that, hey, he is not the expert on music theory, and 90% of the time he's poking around on keys, just trying to hunt for something that sounds good. So the music theory course is taught by monthly staff members, and it goes over really basic stuff. I mean, if you've been playing music, you probably would know a lot of this. It's about note names, chords, major and minor, pentatonic scale, basically stuff like that. So nothing was really new to me, but if you're new to making music, this would be a really good foundation to get started with. And then the last thing, again, is really basic, is a video on the fundamentals of music software. So again, this is not something that Ryan teaches. This is something that a monthly staff member teaches. And they use Logic in this tutorial. And again, they go over really basic stuff. I'm talking like how to add a track, how to record something, how to mute, solo stuff, some basic like EQing, and how to add reverbs and delays. I mean, real basic. If you've ever tried making a track before, you probably know all the stuff that's on here. So, but if you haven't, then again, this is a really good way to just sort of break things down for you on how to at least get started within your DAW. And then the last thing talks about the peer group, which I feel like could have really good potential, or it could really fizzle out. I feel like it just depends on who ends up joining. I'm certainly going to try to be as active as possible in it, just to try to get the most out of it. But basically, you'll be put into a group of 20 other people who've joined the course, and so you'll have projects throughout. And so if you submit your projects on time, as it says here, then someone else will be assigned to critique that project. And so if you critique someone else's, they'll be more incentivized to critique yours, and it'll just be a better flow of learning. And so that's why they sort of encourage you to be active in the peer group, which I certainly am going to be. So that's pretty much the class home. The curriculum goes over exactly what you're going to be learning. So this is broken up into 3 different parts, and then you can sort of look at the different sections of each of the parts. So I think that for each of these parts, you write a song for each of them. And so right now they're all locked, but in 8 days, it'll be each of them will be unlocked. I believe day by day they'll be unlocked sequentially. So I'm very much looking forward to this, and it looks like at the end you submit for peer feedback on things. And then you have the learning path. This basically just says what you've accomplished and what you've done so far. You can share updates. I don't exactly know what that means or what you would do with that, but it's there. And then you have access to the peer group, which I don't have access to yet, and that only starts on the day that the course goes live. So overall, I am actually really thrilled to be going through this. I'm going to try very hard to do all of the classes on the day that they're released, just to try to keep up with things, because I have a feeling that I could fall behind pretty quickly if I don't. So I'll definitely be sharing some updates as I go through. I'll probably post a video on each of the parts, obviously not like showing in depth of what goes on, but at least sort of my take on what goes on. I've had multiple years experience as more of a hobbyist in terms of writing songs and music. So I feel like this will be a good way just to gain some knowledge into someone who has actually done it and won Grammys for it and made a living out of it. So I'm looking forward to it. If there are certain things that you want me to cover, leave them in the comments below. And I hope that this was at least helpful for you. Again, if you are interested in joining, well, you have about 5 hours until the course gets locked for this coming, not semester. There's a word that I'm looking for that I can't think of. Anyway, so the next round, you can certainly do it for them, but there's a link if you do want to save $20 on that. All right, I will see you in the next video. Take care.